You're watching TVC Breakfast. Reactions have continued to trail Sunday's attack on a Catholic church in Ondo State. President Muhammadu Buhari insists that death will never overcome light. And governors of Lagos, Delta and Nigerian Governors Forum have equally condemned the attack.
Buhari has condemned the killing of worshippers at St. Francis Catholic Church in Ondo State. He directed emergency agencies to swing into action and bring succor to the wounded. He assured that no matter what, the country shall never give in to evil and wicked people, and Nigeria will eventually win. Also, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu commiserated with his Ondo State counterpart, Governor Akeredolu, and the state government. He describes the attack as callous, inhuman and despicable act as he sympathized with the people of Ondo State. Presidential aspirant Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said there is no place for such hatred and wanton taking of lives in our nation. He says the perpetrators are evil and that they should be subjected to the full measure of the law and justice. He urged the people of the state to remain calm and peaceful while urging the police and security agencies to do all that is within their power to get to the bottom of this attack. Meanwhile, former governor of Ondo State, Olusegun Mimiko, called on the state government to apprehend and bring the perpetrators of the dastardly act to immediate justice. The leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria has called for an overhaul of the country's security architecture. They called on security agencies to apprehend the perpetrators of the dastardly criminality.
That is the background to our discussion. And joining us now to make sense of all of these is Colonel Hassan Stanlabo, retired. He's a security consultant as well as the convener, Fix Nigeria Now. It's nice to have you join us, Colonel.
Thanks so much, Mike.
Great. Well, it's not a happy time for anyone in Nigeria right now regarding the spate of killing over the weekend. But as it is right now, Nigerians are looking, reflecting on things that have happened before. I recall that we've sat down on this set and discussed security challenges over the time. There were times the government gave assurances that all of these things will be in the past. But here we are. Now Nigerians are beginning to think that there are issues of levels of incompetence now from the angle of security agents, since they've not seen any result so far. What do you say about this?
Thanks so much, Mike. Frankly speaking, I wouldn't hesitate to lend some level of, acceptance to such comments. I am personally beginning to have the feeling that I think we are beginning to suffer a lack of capability, lack of capacity, so to speak. All right? And one is beginning to ask himself, what else can be done? To me, much can be done if only there is enough sincerity amongst the actors, both at the strategic political level and those on ground implementing instructions, orders, and directives. If we can only have enough sincerity in what's ongoing, if there isn't any truth in what we call government's complicity in what is ongoing, and so on. Because I must be frank with you, the ordinary Nigerian on the street is beginning to feel, look, we don't really have a government that feels concerned about the social contracts they have with us. And like you know, the social contract rests on a bipod: security, welfare. In both, the government has failed us. Absolutely. But the most important one now is even the security. Can we even keep alive? Can I drive feeling confident on the street without watching back and so on? Can I deliberately step out of my home after 6 or 7 p.m., pick my keys and I are going out without your wife saying, where by this time? This was not the Nigeria we all grew up in. So what is happening? More so in the last 7 or 6 years now. Let me say 7 years. Something is really wrong. Just like somebody was saying this morning that before you know what, they tell you there is a need to rejig and what about the military and so on. We are tired of hearing all these jargons. There is a need for us to swing into action. If maybe the change we expect in 2023 that is forthcoming might probably be a sign of, bringing some relief, fine. Maybe a change of hand, change of guards, and so on. We'll see individuals who are more concerned about the situation on ground. Because like it is with this administration, some of us are really tired of advising or trying to push in some ideas and so on, because in the first place, nobody is listening, not to talk of now when they are busy with their politics. So who is listening to you? How many people are watching this program? Do you even get any ideas from whatever they're bringing? Are aides taking notes? In the US, aides take notes when experts are speaking, so that they'll compile a small thing and they'll be able to show their boss certain things. Even as an AGC, my boss made me, every morning, I go through newspapers and so on and pick issues that were relevant to us. And you compile such. Does that happen in this place? I listened to the gentleman on the right there, and I was so impressed with certain comments he was making. But I told myself, who is listening to him? Who is busy taking notes as he talks? Because people are appointed into positions, they believe they have the entire knowledge of everything. Not knowing some individuals sitting there are better informed than they are. That you are appointed does not mean you are the best of the best. You are not there to help us coordinate things. And so you go out in search of further additional information to see how you can run the government effectively and give us quality and give us value. Things are really going bad. Things are, in fact, are really bad. We can't sit here and begin to profile solutions. What solutions are you providing that have not been provided? You just be sounding like a broken record. What do you want to say again? Issues of manpower, or intelligence failure, or the need for us to go shopping for equipment that relate to our needs in the field, and so on. What do you want to say that has not been said, that has not been articulated? Look at the railway issues, for instance. Since 2014, the Lord is my witness, I envisaged that these terrorists will begin to divert into areas where we don't expect them to divert into. And I mentioned certain sectors. Our leisure sector, 5-star hotels, restaurants, and so on. The rail sector, because with terrorists, they hire the number of casualties. Oh, the better for them. It makes good news for them, and so on. And also where you have terrorists who are busy trying to paint a good image before their sponsors, either ICs or whatever, and so on. So they have to work hard on ground for those guys to say, I think these guys are serious. Let's give them additional funding, and so on. We must be thinking ahead of these criminals. We must be proactive in our thinking. You can't relax and always be reactive. That is the problem. We shopped for about 10 or is it 12 Tucano aircrafts. Why are these aircrafts now not seriously penetrating all the nooks and crannies where these guys are in the forest? The days when they used to tell us we don't know where they are is over. Everybody knows, government knows where they are. We know where they are. The security agents know where they are. So those lies are over. The government itself knows where they are. Why are these aircrafts not busy working? Do they shop for them to come and to pack them in their various hangars to be accumulating dust and cobwebs? We spend money in buying these things. By now we should be hearing terrible stories coming out of the camp of the enemy. Where are those aircrafts? What is happening?
All right.
From what you have said, it is obvious that everything in terms of material and material are available to this government. If it is to get aircraft, they have the aircraft. If it is soldiers, they have the soldiers. If it is equipment, they have the equipment. If it's intelligence, we the citizens have the intelligence. People have gone to them. Even the cleric, Gumi, went to them. The only people that have not gone to them are the people who can save us. Do you see that there is a subtle partnership between the bandits and those who are supposed to save us from them?
Yep, I agree with you. I agree with you totally. I agree with you totally. Yes. How many times have bandits come out to say, let them come and let's talk? How many times have they told us or been able to tell some one or two pressmen that probably runs into the reveal information relating to the fact that government knows more than we think they know? Garabasheru and so on, what is their job? To what extent have they been able to come out to say, yes, actually, this happened, that happened, government was in the know of this? They will never tell us that. They keep telling you about hate speeches and so on. When you talk here and leave, they said you are engaging in hate speech. What do we have to hate about the government? This is a government which some of us stuck out our neck, supported them to come into power. There was nothing some of us never said about them. Oh, they are the Messiah. Oh, this, that, and that. I call them all sorts of very good polished names. Today, some of my officer friends look at me and say, how market? And we just laugh. I know what they mean. We all know what they say, how market?
Like Obama said after he got into power and he was asking the people who voted Trump in. I said, how do you like me now?
It's a mild way of putting it, but they are really deep expressions, I must say. But if you say there's a connection, like you have asserted, let's be a little hypothetical. To what aim and objective will all of these connections be? Because we assume that somebody who has the power to save decides not to save, allowed things to degenerate, then there must be an aim or there must be an objective.
You see, at times, however you force yourself to disagree with certain things that have been said in the public, at the end of the day, in the course of your personal analysis, your own thoughts, at times, we are human beings, at times when you go to bed, when sleep is not fast coming, you play with some ideas in your minds and so on. There is always this talk about a hidden agenda. A hidden agenda. And somebody like me, I want to say, look, what could be the hidden agenda? And some of these guys who will say this will tell you there is a plan to Islamize Nigeria, there is a plan to do this, the Fulanis want to do this and that. And I ask myself, how can you Islamize Nigeria, for heaven's sake? You have not finished Islamizing the Zulus in Sokoto or my people, the Southern Kaduna people. How can you Islamize the entire Nigeria? More so down south, when you have not even finished with the minority Christians and heady ones like us from Southern Kaduna. So I dismiss such talks. But then, it keeps coming and coming and coming to a point where you begin to ask yourself, could this be true? In this age? I doubt it. It's not possible. Somebody is just playing with his imaginations. You can't do that, brother.
There's a statement made by a character in a play. It said, that was Coleridge, the poet Coleridge, who said that sometimes when people do evil, it is meaningless. Call it meaningless, motiveless malignity. In other words, you do evil, there's no way you can decide what is the real motive of this. Because if you say you want to Islamize Nigeria, most of the victims of these bandits are Muslims.
Thank you. You see why
they've gone to mosques. Yes. They've destroyed mosques.
Exactly.
Yes.
They've fought. They've done all kinds of evil against their own people.
So that is not hold water.
So if it is not about killing Muslims or killing Christians, you kill both of them. So why would it be a situation where we seem to coddle them instead of exterminate them?
Thank you. And that is why at that point, sorry, I know you wanted to comment.
Fine.
That is why I disagree so much with this idea of saying, look, they have surrendered, so let's rehabilitate them, and so on and so forth. And then before you know what, we start spending the sort of money we don't even spend on their victims that are in IDP camps, waiting for the next meal. And we are here pampering some gentlemen, did I call them gentlemen? We are here pampering some people who were brought in out of the forest. In the first place, how come you were able to pull them out of the forest? Look, I am an officer, and there's a level to which I attained the level before leaving the military. I am aware that Nigeria is a signatory to certain protocols and pacts. Okay? I am also aware, going by the law of war, that when somebody surrenders, you can no longer take his life. All right? The best you can do is to take him PW, as prisoner of war.
Yeah.
These protocols are all there. These laws are all there. I can assure you that even the Western world that put these things in place at times go against them. Why? Because they take the peculiarities of their situation into consideration. Why did the UK pull out of the financial arrangement under the EU? To save its economy, to save the pounds, and so on. There are several other examples we can cite. The point I am making here is this. Given the realities on ground with us, given the peculiarities of our own situation, I don't believe in we unnecessarily picking PWs. Now some of these guys that we have picked, pampered them, and so on and so forth, and even reintegrating them back into society, we are aware that some of them are already committing atrocities all over the place. As we speak right now, whether we want to accept it or not, these guys are infiltrating the southern part of the country. And we have seen evidence. They're in most of the forests in that south. I've lived in Lagos for over 10 years now. They're in most of the forests all over the place, accumulating weapons and so on. Are we claiming we don't know? Where are our what is the intelligence community in Nigeria doing? To what extent are we using the ex-servicemen who are scattered all over the nooks and crannies of Nigeria? Men with some level of commitment to the Nigerian state, men who have some level of, what do I call it now? What do you call this when you have loyalty to your country?
Allegiance, or patriotism?
Patriotism, yes. Okay? Men who you don't have to pay much or even talk much to for them to do what you want them to do. Who will happily do it, believing I'm serving my country. I have done it before. I'm now my pension, and I'm doing it again. He does it with pride. Some of us are talking out of experience. I commanded an operation in Ika when I was then a bloody major. For well over 3 years, I was in charge of that operation. I know the extent to which I use servicemen, retired servicemen, within the general community. I'm talking of Ika in Akwa Ibom State, because I know we have another Ika somewhere in Delta. So. But I'm talking of the Akwa Ibom State, where youths had, gone haywire, they picked up arms and all sorts of things. And the army had to move in, the president had to move in the army there.
All right. Let me put you on hold a little bit, and let's cross over to our correspondent in Ondo State, Ayodeji Moradeo, who gave us a report earlier. Ayodeji, it's good to have you join us this morning. We can only imagine the situation in Ondo State. You went there, you spoke to a lot of people. Can you bring us up to speed? What is the mood like today, and what are the things going on as at today?
Well, let me tell you that yesterday was a sad day for the people of Owo and Ondo State. It was a day many will not forget in a hurry. People were worshiping in the church. When the church service was about to be over, some gunmen from nowhere came and shoot many of them. As I'm talking to you, we don't know the number of casualties. Some say it's 50, some say it is 60. So the casualties are too much. And I can also tell you that many are now receiving treatment in 2 different hospitals in Owo. The first one is Federal Medical Center Owo, and the other one is St. Leo Hospital, also in Owo. The casualties, the victims there are many, and let me tell you that they need blood donors. Many of these victims lost blood in the incident, and they need blood so that they can quickly recover. And so the management of the two hospitals are calling on Nigerians, people of Ondo State, to come out and donate their blood to these victims. And the state government has said that it will get to the root of the matter, and that those who perpetrated the act will not be allowed to go unpunished. And the people who are mourning, they want action, they want government to take action and ensure that these people are brought to justice. And let me tell you, people are now living in fear. They don't know who is next. They don't know what can happen next. If people can come to a church service and attack people, shoot sporadically, carry out their deadly act with impunity, and nothing has been done for now. People are really sad.
All right, thank you very much for bringing us up to speed on that. We certainly would have you in our subsequent bulletins, getting to know all the sides and the roles that are being taken and the strategies going forward.
I just got a text message from General Alabi Isama, the Chief of Staff to Adekunle. He just asked me a question, where the terrorists on foot or on Okada? In other words, it's implying, how far could they have gone without being caught? That's what it's implying, if I get him right. That how far could they have gone without being encircled?
Yes.
And caught?
Yes. Immediately after that.
Yes, immediately after. How far could they have gone?
Yes.
If they were in cars, why couldn't they have been intercepted one way or the other? If they were in the bushes, how far could they have gone, even if they were in Okada?
General is asking the right questions.
Yes.
He's asking the right questions. And I foresee, again, serious failure of intelligence. Okay, and that's why I keep saying this. You see, by now, I don't know if you guys have observed, cutting across the entire security sector, national security sector, there is a serious manpower issue. And the question I keep asking myself is, why? Why is there a manpower issue? Because most of the people we are talking about to be recruited here now are those who, in most cases, will serve as foot soldiers. How much are we paying them? They are not generals who will say we pay them in millions. How much are we paying these boys? It's not the usual 70,000, 80,000 naira per month. Is that what Nigeria cannot afford to pay? By now, I expect an infestation of certain locations by DSS personnel, plainclothes security, all over the place. Look at that window along the Kaduna-Abuja highway. That window that occupies about three villages or so, those three notorious communities. By now, I expect such communities to have been infested. I'm using the word infested so that you really know what I mean.
The extent of it?
Yes. Recruit these boys, train them, push them in. Why are we suffering a manpower issue? A country of 200 and something million, with young graduates scattered all over the place, no jobs. Nearly each of us here has somebody depending on him who has finished school and you cannot get a job, and he's looking up to you as if you're one minister and you can create a job for him. Why all this? I thought the military now, given our present situation, would have served as a window for employment for a lot of young Nigerians, both male and female. By now, how come we cannot maintain a 1 million man army by now? We deserve it. Right. Given our size in terms of population, given our size in terms of land, and so on. And then, of course, given our commitment within the sub-region.
Yeah. Even the priorities right now, the circumstances right now require that kind of mass recruitment for that purpose. But we have to leave it here now. Colonel Hassan Stanlabo, security consultant and convener, Fix Nigeria Now. We thank you very much for coming. We share in this frustration and the feeling of Nigerians as well. And we look forward to maybe soon, someday, there'll be relief for all Nigerians.
Amen.
Thank you for coming.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great.